Hi, guys. Welcome to Pardon Me, Alex, for our special little surprise episode today. Of course, Alex.
Jack.
Duh. But yeah, we're super excited to chat today with our special guest, head coach Colby Carthel. We'll bring him on in a second. But yeah, it's just one of those episodes we've been trying to do for 6 years. No, I'm kidding. So, but he is about to head into his 6th year as our head coach for the football team. And we're just really excited to have him on. And I know he's super busy getting ready for the season to start next week. So, and his time is precious and he has practice at 6 o'clock. So we got to get it rolling.
We're in a time crunch.
We are in a time crunch, but
first time guest.
First time.
Very welcome.
Long time listener. Just kidding. Colby Carthel, welcome to the show.
Here we go. What's going on, gals? Thanks for having me.
I thought we were going to get
a swing your shirt. Yeah.
There.
Yeah, I mean, your ratings can only handle so much bad. That the FCC would get on you, it's not suitable for work or whatever that
NSFW.
Yeah,
not safe for work.
Honestly, I think they have bigger fish to fry, so I doubt we're on their radar. But you never know. You never know.
No, thank y'all for having me. Excited to be on. I see y'all all the time, and y'all are everywhere. Y'all are at every event and all sports, and we greatly appreciate y'all's support, and as do all our athletes in all sports. And so y'all do so much for not just SFA athletics, but SFA in general. So it's an honor to be on.
Oh, well, thanks. You're too nice.
You're so kind and so sweet.
People like you make it easy,
Seriously, yeah. You've been, it's like one of those like big fish. We wanted to snag you and reel you in for a podcast. So I'm glad finally able to do it and get you on. But yeah, as we were saying before in the intro, that you're heading into your 6th year as head coach of the Lumberjacks, and a lot has happened over the 6 years. Had to deal with a lot of different things, switching conferences a couple different times. So yeah, there's been a lot of changes.
Been on the move.
I know, constantly on the move, right? So one of the things, obviously, that there's many things that we love about you, but we just love your personality and your excitement for the game and your love of the game. I mean, you're a Texan, your roots run deep, you have coaching in your blood, your dad's a coach. And one of the things that we absolutely just love about you are your one-liners. So tell us about to start it off on a fun note, tell us about your one of your catchphrases, if you can't be a big time coach, be a big coach. Where did that come from?
Yeah, that was probably about 10 years ago or something. And I love to eat, as you can tell. But
I mean, same.
It just was I don't know. You always talk about being in the big time, make the big time where you are, and big time. That word gets thrown around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I've just always be a big coach. We would say that when we were eating, and just here came the saying, hey, if you can't be a big time coach, might as well let's be a big coach. And so it has to be worthy of that. You can't just say that for eating a bowl of cereal or a PJ. It's got to be, if it's good enough to go on Twitter, I would bookmark it. I would, put it in your Yelp or TripAdvisor, whatever. That's going to be a spot you want to go, because it's got to be a pretty special meal to get. I don't post a lot on Twitter. I'm not a big social media guy, but if there's a meal worthy, it'll go on there.
Yeah, we've had a couple in our time meal worthy big time coach, big coach moments. But yeah, no, that's honestly, I think it's just fun that a lot of people, especially a lot of coaches in East Texas, have really taken that on and kind of also use that as well. Coaches that don't even work at SFA, high school coaches at other schools. I think it's really, really, it's just fun.
And there'll be some random people on there that I have no idea who they are. I've never met them. They, whether they follow me or not, it's indifferent. But if somebody posts, be a big coach, I always try to, if I see it, if I'm logged on that day or week, I'll retweet it and try to have fun with them. And because it's usually, they understand it's a worthy meal that they cooked at home or been somewhere. And kind of on a sad note, I just got out of our staff meeting, and that was at the end of where my book was. At the end of my staff meeting here, I said, guys, got some bad news. Alamo Springs Cafe has shut down. And Alan Jones had just tweeted that at me. That's my all-time favorite hamburger. And it was a hamburger that was featured on the cover of Texas Monthly.
Oh,
A little hole in the wall. It's an old German house about 12 miles south of Fredericksburg that they converted into a restaurant. Still on the honor system. You go in there and they got the coolers, sliding doors. You know, on the honor system, you keep your tabs from your cold soda pops or cold beer, whatever you choose to drink. And you
oh
just
no.
at the end, I had 4 drinks and a hamburger. And so it was a gem of a place. And I don't know the details, but was just told it shut down. So won't. It's a little Debbie Downer to start us off. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. No, that's just so sad because I feel like places like that are so rare nowadays, and you know, but they're so nostalgic, and you know, I still think there's a place for those mom and pop restaurants, and obviously we have a lot of that here in Nacogdoches, and it's just sad that another type of establishment like that has had to close its doors. But speaking of, obviously talking about big meals and mom and pop stores and things like that, what's your favorite place to eat in Nacogdoches?
HTO. Yeah, I got a shout out to my wife. I'll go get.
I mean, come on. Okay, that's fair. I walked into that one.
Yeah, you
But
did.
yeah, favorite meal, let's say.
Favorite meal, you know, I've got a lot of favorites. It kind of depends on what I'm hungry for, but I think just your overall, you know, you can't go wrong. I mean, Butcher Boys. I mean, my gosh, I've been there, and sometimes I just like I don't even like Reuben sandwiches. I'm going to have a Reuben, and it's fantastic too. So
Very true.
I have yet to have something bad on that menu, and so it's a good spot. That's just a good catch-all, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
Definitely.
I've never had a bad meal at Butcher Boys. Shout out to Butcher Boys, local burger and barbecue establishment here in Nacogdoches. So if you've never been to Butcher Boys when you're in town, highly recommend
That
it.
is a local mom and pop staple. It has been in Nac as long as I can remember.
Exactly.
Food here, we've got great places all the way around. CC Smokehouse, you know, Ken Folks, the Republic, if you can afford it, you know, and that's you got a special night there.
Yeah.
And some great Mexican foods. I like Poppy's. I don't know if y'all have tried Poppy's downtown, the new Mexican food place.
I haven't.
I haven't
No.
either.
Yeah.
Woo, you're missing out.
Really?
Okay.
Okay, we'll have to go then. Put that on the list.
It's on the list. Thanks.
There's a bunch of them. I know we've only got 45 minutes, so I could talk food for 45 minutes.
No, we could too. I know. We're gonna switch gears here. Yeah. No, we're switch gears back to football, but because your time is precious. But yeah, so speaking of football, obviously it's still the summer technically for one more week or so. But the season starts next week. But thinking back towards the summer, and well, first of all, I mean, love to know how you guys stay hydrated and cool because it is so hot out there. And I mean, and depending on if you're doing, you know, 1 a day, 2 a days, summer workouts, talk about how they went. You know, are you pleased with the progress that you see on the field? Are you know, coming up here on our first game?
No, very, very excited about it. And it has been cooking. You know, this was a very wet year. We had summer up through June. We had all kinds of rain. You know, they were talking about Lanana Creek and everything never only getting out of its banks like once every 4 or 5 years, and it's done it 5 times this year. So Nita Creek, same way. So but man, it all shut down. It hadn't been a drop of rain since last month or so, and it has been really hot. We go we take the field about 7 a.m. each morning. You know, the biggest challenge we have is all the dew that's on the field. We've got to drag it, you know, because it'll just ruin footballs, and your shoes are wet, feet are wet, you know, 5 minutes into practice. But we try to be off the grass by about 10 each morning. We're not allowed to do 2 a days.
Oh, okay.
But they changed those rules a while back. So it is brutal. They've got the wet globe now that they test everything. And I mean, by the end of practice every day, we're in the red or sometimes the black, and all right, we're getting them off. But we've got to get them up early. You know, guys are getting up at 5:30 and getting at 6, and then getting over here taped and on the grass by 7. So it's not ideal, but you got to, you know, player safety is the most important thing.
100%. Yeah.
That's where, you know, I think this place is fixing to really grow and explode, you know, with leadership, and I think got some really good times in front of us here at SFA. And I think if we could ever get an indoor workout facility that would benefit every sport. I mean, how many times I've watched soccer and softball and baseball out here on Rice, because it's the only place they can get, and everything. So on turf, and so if we had an indoor, I mean, that would help all sports, including basketball. Just because it would be something that a lot of other programs don't have that you can sell in recruiting, that just highlights our commitment to athletics and facilities and everything, infrastructure within the department. So I think that's coming, but we gotta get there first.
That's actually really funny.
Be really nice.
Yeah.
We were actually thinking about that, and
there
are high schools now that have really nice indoor facilities. So it'd be nice if we could get one.
Right? Why not us? And I know it's funny. We both made a note of that. Like, we needed indoor facility, field, something for these athletes to practice and not, dehydrate or get overran. Heat stroke. Right. Exactly.
Exactly. You mentioned that. I will be honest with you. The majority of high schools that we recruit have better facilities than we do in football. I mean, just from a locker room standpoint, indoor standpoint, weight room standpoint. And, that's, this is not the Taj Mahal of, and it's that way really across the board at D2 and some FCS programs. There's some high schools we don't even really recruit. We go by there, but the kids won't come here because it's
a step down for them. Yeah.
And so that's where, we got to make a commitment to that. And eventually I think now we've got some leadership where we're going to be able to do that. And that will change in the future.
Yeah, no, totally agree. I mean, we had an episode with Mr. McBroom a few weeks ago or a month ago. I don't know. It's been a long summer. And those are things that he definitely mentioned and talked about. So, it's exciting. The horizon, the sky's the limit. I feel like with him, he has so many amazing ideas, and, he's still scratching the surface. He's only been here for a few months. And so I think he, with conversations with you, conversations with other coaches, I feel like all these things are definitely attainable. So it's good to hear. So talk a little bit about the team, talk a little bit about, returnees, key players who are making a return to the team. You think they're going to be key players on the field, playmakers, things like that?
Yeah, well, the good thing is, it's August 23rd and we're still undefeated. So far we've done pretty good, but
love to hear it.
I'm really excited about this season kicking off here in about 6 days, and the team we've got. We've made some changes there offensively, obviously, in the style of play and what we're doing, and you'll see some new guys there. I think we really, really improved our wide receiver room, and some big names there that you'll hear a lot of. Blaine Green was Big 12 freshman of the year, honorable mention at Oklahoma State. Kylan Harris returns at the slot receiver. He led the team in receiving last year. Jordan Neighbors is a young man transferred over, very productive at Baylor in here. So, those guys are doing really well. A couple young newcomers. Clayton Whalen will see a lot of playing time as a freshman. He was South Lake Carroll's leading receiver last year.
Oh, wow.
Out of Gilmer, a TCU transfer, Rowan Fluellen. He's put on a show a few times here during fall camp. So that receiver room is going to be really fun. And I think just the style of play, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be gripping and ripping, down the field and much more up tempo run game. And so I think it'll be a little bit more fan friendly, and I think it'll be more friendly to the win-loss column too. I think we'll see some good production there. O-line's going to be young. We graduated 5 seniors last year, so that's the biggest question mark offensively. Quarterback, we're still it's coming down to the wire here. It'll be a new signal caller. Sam Bidlack, a transfer from Montana, is battling with Gavin Rutherford, and that's been big. Dalton McAulay is in there as well from Kilgore. So we've got 3 very capable quarterbacks right now, and so they've had a good camp. And then probably the strength of the offense is going to be our running back room. We returned Jarrell Wembley, 2-year starter, single-digit guy. Anthony Williams led our team in touchdowns last year, was a male athlete of the year at SFA. And then you add to that a true sophomore that's really come on. Jalen Jenkins is going to have a lot of production there. And then we had a young man walked on here from Baylor named Quaylen Jones. I think he had 9 or 10 touchdowns at Baylor in the Big 12, and that sucker looks like a Big 12 running back. I mean,
really
Exciting.
I could take my shirt off and show you what he looks like, but not suitable for work. But,
that's what we should have named the podcast. Not suitable for it. No, but I love to hear that. So he walked on.
But that's the thing. That everything's about the transfer portal. There's more people in the portal than there is scholarships. I tell our staff it's like a game of musical chairs, and the music's going to stop, and there's going to be a lot of people without a place to go.
Yeah.
And the staff did a really good job just scouring, and we found Quaylen, and we didn't have a scholarship, and he walked on. He paid his own way here all spring. He had 127 yards in our spring game. Obviously as the years turned over, I have scholarship now. He's on money, but that sucker paid his own way as a senior, as a Big 12 transfer coming to SFA, and so that showed a lot, and he earned a lot of street cred in the locker room. Walking on and paying his own way here, and so he'll have a big year this year. He'll be fun to watch.
That's exciting.
That shows some real commitment. So that's exciting.
Yeah, that is. Wow. Yeah, to know that he came from Baylor and then walked on and paid his own way. I mean, that's determination. Yeah.
Defensively, we've got some really good ones. We've got quite a few returners on defense, to be honest with you. Return 8 or 9 guys that have started games at some point last year, and kind of headlined. Jermaine Brown is an all-conference, linebacker that got his degree, came back. We've got 2 DBs. Jeremiah Walker, he's a 5th-year starter, 4-time single-digit award winner, and then Bruce Harmon, who was just named to the Reese's Senior Bowl watch list. Those will be 2 of our starting DBs, and both those guys graduated and came back. And that's one thing that really makes me feel good about the culture in our locker room is with all this traveling or transferring and, grass is greener. We didn't have a good year last year. We stunk it up and didn't finish games, and we ended up 3-8, and you are what your record says you are. So, but nobody ran and left. They stuck with it. And those guys graduated, had opportunities to go play at bigger schools, and chose to stay and finish their careers here as Lumberjacks. And so expect them to have big years. Up front, we're going to be much improved defensively in the front 7. We've got some guys that are going to be, they'll be able to get after some quarterbacks and I think improve our run defense. Headlined by Ed Bobineau, a returning first-team all-conference player at the D tackle position. Aaron Austin led our team in sacks last year. He's back and put on about 25 pounds of hurting pounds is what we call them. So he's going to be really good on the edge, and just Kai Thomas returns after a year off. He was one that tore his ear off against Sam Houston. They sewed it back at halftime, wrapped his head up, and he finished the game. I mean, that guy's the epitome of what a true lumberjack is.
I remember that.
He's from Elkhart, Texas. He's had that red dirt underneath his fingernails his whole life, and he is East Texas tough. So got a good bunch there on the defensive side.
That's amazing. That's great to hear. Honestly, you gave me more than I thought. Honestly, that was. I mean, you have that memorized down pat.
I see them every day.
It's exactly right. And you want to share, give them their flowers as well, give them their due. I love that. So talk a little quickly about the move back to the Southland Conference and what your thoughts are about that and, things that you're excited about.
Oh, I think, first of all, I think it was the right move when we left. And I think it's the right move to move again and go back to the Southland. I think the Southland is in much better shape right now than it was 4 years ago. I think they've got some tremendous leadership. They're growing. They've got a very stable footprint. When we left, and it was an all sport decision, is to elevate, trying to get 2 teams in basketball, as you well know. And we were never able to do that in the WAC, but from a travel standpoint and a stability standpoint, at the 11th hour, Central Arkansas went to the A-Sun instead of coming with us. And then Sam Houston, New Mexico State, they leave. McNeese doesn't come over. Then UIW and Lamar, they go back. Now we lose UTRGV, and then even more so, we lose Grand Canyon and Seattle. But that was 7 teams in our geographic footprint that are gone. And I know y'all, followed closely with basketball, playing those midweek games. Those poor guys and gals, they missed more class than they attended last year with that travel, and that's not cheap. We're spending $1.6 million more than we need to in that travel. We made the jump to go to the WAC with an administration that was going to support and fund us. Well, that administration got fired, and the support never came. And so, I mean, we were just dying on the vine, from a budget standpoint. And it made a lot of sense to go back. And some people are upset. I don't know exactly where y'all stand on the matter, but, I don't think the WAC will cease to exist next summer, and that's where you're really getting a financial pinch is if you're a man without I don't know what's the saying, a man without an island or whatever you don't have a place to call home, and now you are spending a lot of money and not part of a conference. So I really appreciate Dr. Weaver, our new president, Michael McBroom, their leadership to say, hey, let's go back and be who we are. A lot of benefits from a travel budget facility standpoint. We were in the UAC, and we had facilities in the entire conference, and we moved back to the South, and at least from a football standpoint, we're probably top half. And great for our fans, our parents, our kids, their parents.
Yep.
They can't get to Utah. They can't get to Georgia. They can't get to Kentucky. So now every game we play is within a day's drive, and be great for students. And then also just growing our university. That's one point that I think Dr. Weaver made. Now we're going to play every game. We play 12 games this year, and every game we play in football, a lot in basketball, now is going to be in the footprint of where we recruit students. And our enrollment here at SFA has bottomed out. We're barely above 10,000 students right now, and we've, I think, rectified some things and are getting more efficient and are starting to grow. Our enrollment numbers are actually up this year with our freshmen. But now having our athletic teams play all their games in that region that we're trying to attract students from, that helps. Y'all are on the alumni board. You know this. I mean, we got to recruit more alumni. Well, hey, why don't you come out to a game at Cal Baptist? Everybody that's wanting to come, all you folks in Seattle that are interested in attending SFA, come to the game. It ain't happening,
No, it's not happening.
We literally, when we talked about it with McBroom, we said all the stuff that you're saying now. It's less money on travel. The student athletes, they are supposed to be students first. And when they're never here, that's really, really difficult, adds to their stress. And it's not where anybody you're recruiting is going to be able to watch a game. It's not where any alumni are going to be able to move games. So it just makes a lot of sense to.
I'll tell you what else it'll help. It'll help this town.
100%.
Y'all have seen the crowds in basketball when Seattle's in town and Cal Baptist and Utah Valley. And it's the same way. I mean, we played Southern Utah here last year. That last game, they had 3 fans, and that was their 3 bus drivers, and that helped. Now we're playing McNeese. Now we're playing Lamar. Now we're playing, Northwestern State, and we've got, 1,500, 2,000, opposing fans over there. That creates a better environment. And all those people, that's 2,000, 3,000 people that are coming to town, staying in hotels, eating in restaurants, buying gas. That helps us. And
it's going to do wonders again for our local economy, which is something, I know we're all very passionate about, you being, small business owner with your wife and we're super, passionate about it. We work at the brewery, small business. And so it's going to really, really help out in terms of the local economy. And I think what you said earlier really kind of explains it the best, is that when we moved to the WAC, it was the right decision. Moving back to the Southland and returning to the Southland is the right decision.
Yep.
So I think that just completely, summarizes it the best way possible. So
now let's win.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about the schedule a little bit. I was going to pull up the schedule. Obviously, the schedule, but, not everybody is up to date as much as you are. So checking out the schedule. Obviously, the first game is coming up here in the next 6 days versus North American. Love the idea to change it from Saturday to Thursday. It cuts a little bit into my trivia time, but I think I'll figure it out. So, yeah, excited for that. Tell us a little about the home games and what you can expect to see this season from the schedule. And then, of course, that North Texas game coming up, too.
Right. No, that's the original release. So that date is actually wrong on that.
It is wrong, yeah.
It's the 29th, August 29th. So next Thursday we'll kick off 7 p.m. and should be a fun opener. And then we travel up to North Texas. That's our money game.
Mm-hmm.
And up there, they're part of the American Conference. Played for the conference championship and a year ago, I think that was. And Eric Morris, their head coach, does a great job. And then we start conference play on the road down there in the swamp, down to McNeese. That'll be a warm one, and the old Cowboys. So that's a tough place to play. We've had a lot of great battles through the years with those guys, and
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Then come back home there on the 21st of September to play Northern Colorado. That's a team out of the Big Sky Conference FCS program, and so that'll be a good one. We'll take a breather. Got our only open date there on the 28th, and then come back home for the Demons. All right, Northwestern State, and that's a battle of the Chief, not Chief Cato, just a battle of the Chief. We're doing something new this year, so that'll be fun. And then on the road to Lamar and Southeastern, and then come back home for homecoming. I got Houston Christian playing them for homecoming, and then a big one on the road after that at Nichols. Be my first time down to Thibodaux, Louisiana, and that is.
I'll tell you what, from experience,
you're in for it.
You're in for it. I'm telling you right now.
For an experience.
Whenever I was still in college, there was a car full of friends and myself traveled to Thibodaux, and it's a trip. I'll tell you that.
I heard there's a few places you can get some good cracklings along the way, and
that's accurate.
There's some good food in that area, so I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully we're playing for something there, and then.
Yep.
Then on the road to my old stomping grounds, A&M Commerce, and then back home for the last two of the homestand. We got Incarnate Word, and then Senior Day there against Abilene Christian. So should be a good schedule and a challenging schedule, but we got a work cut out for us. But hopefully we get ready to rock and roll, and get things kicked off on the right foot here next Thursday.
No, absolutely. I know one of our good friends and good fans here, Brian, he's making the day trip up for that Thursday opener. I think there's a lot of people that are really, really excited about that day change. And especially, getting away from the holiday, I think was really important, especially trying to get students to that game. So I think that was the right move.
100%. And it just, it's Labor Day weekend, 4-day weekend. A lot of people travel, have plans. One last trip to the beach.
Right.
It's a day for dove season, so you lose your dove hunters, who are usually football guys. And then it's also big for the students. It's going to be the first week of school, and so it'll be great to have them here and get them a good experience on Thursday night. Kind of introduce them to lumberjack football, and hopefully we get out there with a big win, and then turn our sights to North Texas. And that really, it gives us 2 extra days to prepare for North Texas, which Mean Green, they're going to be tough to slow down and tough to stop. So we'll need every advantage we can get.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you know what? We have such a huge alumni presence in North Texas and up there in DFW area. So I really do think that we're going to have a lot of purple in the stands for that game. There's a lot of really excited alums that we're going to have, one of the games this year being in their backyard. So that was one of the things we were talking about today in our meeting. And so I really do think we're going to have a great little crowd, a great crowd, not little. We want big crowd. We want all of the allotment to be sold. So I think that'll happen.
I bet it will. Old Chris Carroll at Spring Creek Barbecue, I think they're doing a big deal with tailgate. So I plan to make my way there during pregame and work on being a big coach there.
Right.
So give me some good barbecue and see all the alums, and it will be fun. The last time we played up there in the Metroplex, it was a pretty fun night. That was 2020 when we played ACU and beat them on national TV, walk off overtime, and then that's when the shirt came off. So
we were there. We were there.
We can create another fun moment up there. But
oh yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. We'll never forget that night. I know you won't.
Can't top that one, but it'll be fun, I bet.
Oh man. So yeah, you mentioned it a little bit ago about, obviously a few things different about the season, not playing for the Chief Caddo, but playing for the Chief. Anything else you can tell us about like the game day experience that's going to be a little bit different from last year? Are we going to have smoke again? Are we going to have, what are we doing game day experience wise?
We heard you're getting a new sound system.
I hope so. That was embarrassing. We had
said you were going to get a new one before the season started.
Yeah. Well, Southern Utah last year, we come down the hill. We got all these recruits. We got 40, 50 recruits here. And we literally have a white table with 2 audio Vox speakers. And Mr. Merrill's there on the, hey, welcome, Lumberjack fans. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, this is a new level of low. But I think that's where we officially bottomed out. And we've been on the rise ever since. So,
yeah, 100%.
Only way to go is up.
Good.
There.
No more smoke to choke us out either. I think we may actually have some real pyrotechnics, and I hope so. That's what they're working on right now. I'm in charge of getting the team ready, so I kind of just look around on game day and say, oh, well, that's cool, that's new, and I don't
figure.
So you'll be as surprised as we are, is what you're saying.
Right. That's exactly right. So.
That's fair. I just didn't know if you had anything, slick up your sleeve. I don't know. You're a man of many talents, so you never know.
Well, that's not one of them, I promise you. Have them ready and win all the home games and call that good.
No, agreed. So a couple more questions, then we'll wrap it up because again, I know you got to go to practice. Yeah.
I got 3 minutes or so.
Yeah, you're good. Okay, so you want to ask about it?
Sure.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So we mentioned it a little earlier, but you want to talk some about the importance of NIL and the Sawmill Collective for football that is live now.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That's one of the things I've been slow on. Just my fault. I raised my hand. I'm responsible for things, and we were slow to really embrace the portal with football and kind of adjusting how we manage our roster. And you can't just lose off the top and never replace. And we've really, I think, instead of reacting to the portal and we've been attacking the portal over this past year. And I think you'll see Thursday night and throughout the season, just our talent level has increased and we got some dudes. And so that's going to be fun. With NIL, it's the space we live in now. We're a little different than basketball in terms of here at SFA, but just in general at college, across college, it's here. And last year I think we gave out a grand total of $18,000 NIL money was dispersed over our team, and we've got 130 players.
Yeah.
So you can kind of do the math on what our guys are getting. It ain't much. And some of the teams that we're playing against were, they had war chests of 200, 250, 375, so I mean, just blowing us out of the water,
Right.
You're losing on facilities, you're losing on NIL, it makes it tough, not losing, but behind. And so
Right.
it was really, I knew I had to do something and to get ahead of it. And so I got with Matt Rocco, who y'all know very well. And he's so awesome. He's been good for all our sports, including basketball, but really helped us get it off the ground, the Sawmill Football Collective. And that thing's been live all of about a week, I think a week today. And as I sit here on this podcast, in 1 week's time, without even calling anybody, just being live, we have already raised more money than we had all of last year.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
So we had, I think 18,000 last year, and we're already right at 20,000. That 18,000 last year was done by about 3 or 4 people, and so now it's kind of a grassroots, and so spread the word. I'll look for y'all sign up soon, and make sure y'all know how to get on there. $15 a month. Yay. I support and get people going, because if we all help, and this is, ours is, like I said, ours is different. We don't recruit with money. We retain and reward those guys that stay and want to finish as lumberjacks. And in the day I have to go out and offer money for a kid to come here, I mean, that may be about time I need to go sell tea, because that's just not what I got into the business for. And I know it's different sport to sport, but that's the space we live in. And so we need to, continue to, spreading the word, and let's get our alums and get our fans to chip in a little bit. Cost of one, it's what some people spend for coffee nowadays, or a lunch. 15 bucks a month ain't going to kill anybody, and that goes a long way. We get 100 people at $15 a month. We've doubled what we did last year again. And so
totally, yeah, for anyone listening who's not familiar with all this, go back and watch our episode with Matt and Gary Lee. So we explained exactly what you're saying right now, and with the basketball, and I'm sure this is kind of how you do it with your awards. A lot of it's based on them going and working within the community with different nonprofits, and then being paid through the NIL that way, so that the nonprofit gets, 3 hours, and they're contributing to the community overall. And so it really rewards everyone in Nacogdoches.
Who's blessed are those kids going out and working with the kids in need, and the kids in schools and the nonprofits. And it's a win-win. They're learning life skills. And like I say, this isn't, you drive through our locker room here. We got practice about 20 minutes. There's not a bunch of fancy cars. I mean, half our guys don't even have a car, and most of my kids come from broken homes. They've got a mom or a grandma that's working 2 jobs, and it's hard for her to even get to Nacogdoches to watch them play. And so if a kid can get an extra $50 a month or $100 a month, I mean, that goes a million miles. And I promise you, when that check comes in, or it hits their influencer, they make $100. The joy in their heart is so much more than some of those guys at some of these big Power Fives that are getting, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month, and they're mad because their teammates getting $5,000 more than they are. Just the joy. I mean, it's still true in amateur sport here in football, and so we're excited about it. And again, I really appreciate Matt Rock, our board of directors, Sean Dole, who y'all know I know very well. He's kind of taking the bull by the horns. We got Melvin White, centers, Jim Morgan. We got some big names on there that are
Melvin White.
Yes, they're going to be active and going out and shaking the bushes. And hey, give to the Sawmill football. No, I'm a baseball guy. Well, then give to baseball. Well, I don't believe in NIL. Well, then give to the Purple Lights. I don't like athletics. Well, then give to SFA. I mean, it gives us a way to get out there and make an ask. And some people are just going to be flat grumpy and bump on a log. Well, that's fine. Don't be a fan. Don't chime in. Just go support somebody or be a fan somewhere else. But get involved. I mean, alums should. I give back to Angelo State even to this day. This school does a lot for people, not just athletes, but students. You're educated. Help pay it forward by getting involved in helping the sport teams, the athletes, our athletic department, or just the school, the alumni association, the foundation. There's lots of ways you can get involved and help support SFA.
Couldn't agree more. Honestly,
I think that was pretty much our last thing was going to be your message to Lumberjack Nation. I think you nailed it.
Yeah. If there's anything else you want to add about, getting out there, supporting during the season, buying tickets. I mean, something just came across social media 2 hours ago that for the first time in school history, all of the season ticket premium seating is sold out for football season.
Let's go win.
Amazing.
I'm telling you, gals, I think this is going to be a real turning point with not just athletics or football, but just SFA in general. I told them the other day, I spoke speaking at Rotary, and I've not been this excited about my job and my program and this department and this university since December 3rd, 2018, when I got this job. And because it has been a punch in the gut here for 5 years, to be honest with you. I've been here 5 seasons. I've worked for 6 presidents.
Right.
5 seasons, 6 presidents. and 3 of those, their first name was interim, and they're great people, and they did a good job stabilizing, steadying the ship, and navigating through. But when you've got that much turnover at the highest level in your organization, whether you're a university or a business or whatever it may be, you're not going to be advancing. And so, I mean, it has just, it wore some people out, and it's not been. And we've accomplished some good things. We had a winning season in 20. We went to playoffs in 21. We won a conference championship, one of only 6 in 100 years here in 22. And, we just, I was about to be, we'd squeeze blood out of the rock, and I was tired of squeezing. And I tell you, we got some wind in our sails now with Michael Broom and our president, Dr. Neil Weaver, his address Monday to the faculty and staff. And, oh my goodness, he brought down the thunder. He said, hey, we've got some opportunity was his word. It means, hey, we got to get going and let's get this place growing again. And I think, you can say axe them, hook them. Here we go. Joining the UT system has been a big shot in the arm and their leadership and their investment. We're fixing to build a $60, $70 million forestry department or building, which is going to be the best in the world. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot fixing to happen here. And I'm honored to be a part of it. I'm honored to be y'all's head football coach. I'm excited about the team we're fixing to put on the field next week. I think y'all will enjoy the what you see, and we're fixing to have a big year. I'm excited to be in football because we get to be the first rattle out the gate, of this kind of new regime. And I think we're set up for a successful season.
Couldn't agree more. Honestly, I think that is the perfect way to end it today. Honestly, I have nothing better to say. I think you nailed it right there. The fact that, to see you so excited about not just your season, but just SFA as a whole from top to bottom should make any lumberjack listening, watching now or later that more excited and get them out to support, whether you're supporting near, far. It doesn't matter whether you're supporting $15 a month, whether you're coming to games and cheering us on. It doesn't matter. Your support is your support, and it's all important at any level.
Pick a sport, let's go. We got football this fall. D-Hump, she's going to have them volleyball girls, killing it. I know Kyle Keller. I've been talking to him. He is loaded for bear. He's got a great team. Lynn Bishop is doing a great job. He's in year 2. I mean, here we go. Here we go. Got some new blood in the baseball and softball, and so the only thing I ask is that you have me back on at least once every 3 years.
I think we can do better than that.
We can do better than that, but at least
y'all tried before. I know we've had a hard time getting dates together and everything else, and it sneaks up on us. But love being on. Y'all do a great job with your show. So thanks again for having me. And let's axe some jacks, baby.
We're so excited for the season to start. Excited for next week, and man, we appreciate you so much, and honestly, your excitement makes me excited.
We love your enthusiasm.
It's just ever since you came here, like your enthusiasm and your personality has just been a breath of fresh air. And 100% agree. I think this new regime and this new era is it's honestly been a long time coming, and we can't wait to see what happens. And again, thank you for coming on. Thank you for giving us 45 minutes of your time. We appreciate you so much, and get out there and go coach those boys, and we'll see you.
Y'all shut the computer down. Come out and spend about 2 hours sweating your tails off out here at practice. I promise you, it's hot and it will be miserable. Jack, your hair will go flonk.
Actually, we go the opposite direction.
It's gonna be frowed.
I don't have that problem, so.
I think I'll wait till some cooler temps, then I'll come.
There you go, up in the press box, air conditioning.
We're not that bad.
Have a good one.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you so much for coming on.
We appreciate you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Oh, man. We love him.
Firecracker of an
He's literally like that 45 minutes went by so fast.
And he's at that level of enthusiasm every time I've ever seen him.
Legitimately. Like I saw him last week for the Alive After 5 that the chamber of Nacogdoches Chamber does. With different businesses and stuff. And so this time it was at the football field and with the athletic department, and a lot of the coaches were there. And of course, Colby was there, just shaking hands, kissing babies, doing his thing. And he is just one of the most electric head coaches. I even put that in the description for today's episode. Like one of the most electric head coaches in all of NCAA football, at least. I mean,
Yeah.
He's funny. He's enthusiastic. He's so like, regionally East Texas focused. And I love the fact too, that he talks about retaining and rewarding. I think that's so important and so critical to kind of get that messaging out to not only the Lumberjack football fans, but just Lumberjacks in general. I know our new president, Dr. Neil Weaver, his goal and focus, or at least one of his main ones, is retention and retaining, getting good students here and then keeping them here and not losing them to the transfer portal, when people transfer schools. And I know that happens a lot. We're teacher, we get it. It happens. You want to transfer somewhere else, and that's fine. But I mean, we want people to come to SFA and stay here and get a degree here. And of course, it's the same thing with all these athletes. So, man, football season is here. I'm ready. I know Jacqueline isn't the biggest football fan, but I think now after that,
I mean,
she's a big Colby Carthel fan.
Tell me to run through a wall and I would do it.
That's so true. Honestly, he could sell ice to an Eskimo, 100%. He's just that kind of guy. And we appreciate those of you who are listening and hopped on today. I know it was kind of like a last minute episode, but when Colby Carthel says I got a free hour, you hop on that free hour really quickly. So
jump and get ready to go.
Legitimately, we're at the end of our alumni meeting and we're just like furiously typing up some questions. We're like, okay, we gotta go, gotta run. So again, we appreciate everyone. We're hoping to maybe at least get one more episode in before this football season starts, and then of course, once that rolls around, we'll be starting to get ready for basketball season. We got a lot of changes to basketball team. Obviously, go back and listen to our episode with Coach Keller that we did a few weeks ago before the boys went to Italy. And we're really excited for this upcoming season. Very excited. We're hoping that we're going to get a schedule release soon here for non-conference, but we know that it takes a while to schedule those teams. So fingers crossed. Things are looking really good at SFA right now. You should be really excited for the upcoming season, regardless if it's football, basketball, softball, volleyball.
And it's going to be easier to make all these games now that we're back in Southland.
That's so right.
You have many more opportunities to go watch whatever sport you want.
Mm-hmm. The last thing I'll say, and then I'll cut it because I'm honestly getting hungry. It's lunchtime or dinner time. But is with the announcing of the NIL collective for football, there obviously, yes, there's a sawmill. So obviously there's a sawmill for the sixth man for basketball, which we're heavily involved in. And then there's of course one for football, and there's actually one for almost every major sport at SFA as well. There's one for, baseball, softball, soccer, volleyball, women's basketball. The list goes on and on and on. So even if you're not, a huge football fan and your passion lies within volleyball, or your passion lies with women's basketball or bowling, soccer, whatever it is, there is a collective for that. So highly recommend that you go check out. You could just literally Google Sawmill Collective. The website will pop up. I did it a few minutes ago, and it's easy to navigate. You just find the sport that you want to donate to. And like Coach Carthel and we've said in the past, there are different levels. So if you can only spare $15 a month, understood, the economy is wild right now. So if that's all you can give, then that's awesome. That can pay for a meal. That can pay for a lot of different things for these athletes. So you can give as little as 15 or as much as.
You can do recurring, you can do one time, you can do whatever you want. And if you have any misunderstanding of what exactly the NIL collective is and how that money is given out and all that kind of stuff, like I said, go back, watch our episode with Matt Rocco and Gary Lee Ashcraft, because we talk about all that in detail. And it's not simply just like Coach Carthel said, it's not simply just like paying players to try to recruit them. They're getting rewarded for certain things and paid for ways that they're giving back to the community. So it's really benefiting all parties involved and
100%
helping our community, helping them learn, giving them a little spending money, cash. if their families want to come to a game and don't have the financial, capabilities to make that happen easily, it's just a really great thing. So I highly advise you go watch that episode. If you have any misunderstanding at all about NIL.
100%. And before the season starts, our plan is to have Matt and a few maybe basketball guys from the team on to talk about how the NIL collective has really helped them. And so that's in the works. That's the plans. But anyway, so yeah, if you have questions, go back and watch the episode. Also, you can contact either of us, anybody on the boards for any of the collectives. Be more than happy to talk to you about how all of that works and how you can help support these student athletes and help retain and reward them for their amazing performances on the court, on the field, and in the classroom and in the community. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in for the Last Second podcast. We appreciate you so much. And we hope you have a wonderful day and a great weekend. And always remember to Axe 'em Jacks.
With Alex and Jax.